I invite you to absorb these words from Whispers from Eternity from Paramhansa Yogananda. Close your eyes and feel these words are resonating deeply within your own self. Divine Mother, I heard thy voice in the speaking fragrance of the rose. I heard thy voice in the lisping whispers of my devotion. I heard thy voice beneath the din of my noisiest thoughts. It was thy love which spoke through the voice of friendship. I touched thy tenderness in the softness of the lily. O Divine Mother, break through the dawn and show thy face of light. Break through the sun and show thy face of power. Break through the night and show thy mooned face. Break through my thoughts and show thy face of wisdom. Break through my feelings and show thy face of love. Break through my pride and show thy face of humbleness. Break through my wisdom and show thy face of perfection. As I call to thee in the wilderness of my loneliness, thou didst burst through the dawn to greet me with thy joy. Thou didst emerge from the molten door of the sun to invigorate me through the pores of my life. Thou didst tear away the night of my ignorance to reveal thy silver rays of speaking silence. Powerful words. So today, I think most of you know, maybe some of you don't, is the anniversary of the Mahasamadhi, the final exit of the great avatar Sriyukteswar, Yogananda's guru. And on Friday evening, for the celebration of Paramhansa Yogananda's Mahasamadhi, which was March 7th, Devi spoke somewhat on Yogananda's guru, Swami Sriyukteswar. But I want to add some elements into it as well. I hadn't actually planned to do this, but as I woke up this morning, I thought this might be important to share. You know, for a lot of us, Swami Sriyukteswar can seem, as Devi mentioned on Friday night, somewhat aloof, removed from us. But I know I had this experience many years ago where I could feel the essence of him behind what he was expressing. Even being an avatar, his expression was powerful, but I found myself more in the inner touch of his consciousness. And it wasn't a super rocket ship of energy happening. It was just very real, very personal as an experience. And I've always been touched by many of the things that are in the autobiography of a yogi. Of course, Sriyukteswar is written about many, many times in many chapters in that book, The Autobiography of a Yogi. But I remember just a few lines that really, again, gave me the opportunity to feel that consciousness for myself. And the one line that always has been a tremendous support for me, where he says that the darkness of Maya, of delusion, is silently approaching. Let us hie homeward within. Very simple, very simple. And he was saying it to his disciples in the story, in the autobiography of a yogi. But it felt the most comforting and most supportive energy I could feel. You know, we don't normally associate Swami Sriyukteswar with devotion or prem, divine love. But in that phrase, in the feeling I received in that phrase that he spoke, there was deep devotion, deep opening of the heart, a deep connection on that level of feeling the purity of that energy and the care and the nurturing energy coming from Swami Sriyukteswar. And I've always clung to that, especially when it is challenging. You know, most of us probably turn to Master Paramhansa Yogananda for the most part, when we're really trying to go deeper, when we're facing challenges, when we really need that help. And yet, there is just the sweetness in reading the chapters between Swami Sriyukteswar and Paramhansa Yogananda, the deep, deep, deep attunement, the deep resonating effect of their lives together. And the stories that allow us to really understand this difference between dogmatism and common sense. Because Sriyukteswar, and of course Yogananda as well, really reflected this emphasis of common sense, of how to live our lives. I mean, one of the things that, again, is a phrase that has always been precious to me, and probably most of us, is when Sriyukteswar says, learn to behave. Well, that's a very practical thing. It really is common sense. If you want to flourish in this lifetime, even just on the outer level of things, the way that we live in our world with people in society, that this practical construct of saying, learn to behave. Come to your life with that understanding that we each are an instrument. And by this phrase, learning to behave, it's really saying to us, of course, be in that flow that allows you to be the fullest expression of who you are. So don't get caught in the whirlpools of emotions, in the whirlpools of likes and dislikes. That's how we behave. That's how we grow. That's how we expand. But it's something we have to put our part into. We have to use our common sense, our willingness, our openness to say, this isn't just a platitude from a great master. This is an instruction for us to pick it up and move in the right direction. And so, reread some of these chapters of the Autobiography Yogi about Swami Sriyukteswar, because there is a holy vibration when we celebrate both their Mahasamadhis and their births, and to feel what that is like as our own experience, not just as something out there that's happened, however inspiring that might be. We have the opportunity and really the mission, or maybe as in the Festival of Light, it goes from mission to revolt to the quest. We really have before us the quest to find our own experience of the great masters by tuning into not only how they live their lives, which can be very inspiring and helpful, but perhaps more importantly, coming to their essence from our essence, trying to feel that integration of that consciousness from the masters and our consciousness being offered up into that. But it's easy in this world at this time to be caught by dogmatism. And it comes in perhaps in slippery ways. And suddenly we don't realize it, but we're kind of caught in a form or an expression that really is not expansive, not open. And that's what dogmatism means. It's something that we attach ourselves to without the understanding or the willingness to see that it's just a starting point. I was saying to the folks that were attending the discipleship renewal program at the meditation retreat that's ended this morning, that I remember in 1982 for Spiritual Renewal Week, which we've done every summer from the beginning of Ananda's start, that year in 1982, Swami Kriyananda decided to do it on the chakras, which is a unique approach that he wanted to take. And actually, the recordings of that became one of our best-selling audio things that we put out there for many, many years. And is it still available? Can we still get it? Is it on Treasures? Treasures Along the Path. You can hunt it down there. But, so in the first class on Monday morning of Spiritual Renewal Week, Swamiji focused on the first chakra, the Muladhara chakra. And the positive side of that chakra, the qualities, are really things like stability, loyalty, being grounded. And the negative qualities from that first chakra are instability, being dogmatic. And then he said this thing, which I always have appreciated, the nuances. He said, but in the beginning of your spiritual journey, you're leaving behind this enormous magnetism of a worldly life, many lifetimes perhaps. And so, sometimes it's good to be dogmatic. Because you have to have the strength of that pushing away everything else and saying with dogmatism, this is what I'm doing. But he said then, you have to move quickly into the water element, being more fluid, being more open, being willing to see things not fixed as much, but in a flow. And so it's interesting that we have that sense of that. So there may be times when we are dogmatic. The thing is that we shouldn't indulge in that. And that's the learning to behave, that we don't get caught by it. And we say, okay, let me shift from a dogmatism to a stability, from a dogmatism to being grounded, but without being caught by that. Or, as we know, that we can shift from the dogmatism into an expanding flow of energy. And common sense, as the reading expressed, is really that beginning part of making that transition, where that we're doing things with the discernment, the discrimination that God has given to us. I always like that the Sanskrit word for discernment is viveka. And Swami Vivekananda, the foremost disciple of the great Master Ramakrishna, displayed that quality very well. But discernment is when we're able to look at things and say, oh, that isn't it, this is it. This is what's real. And, Master Yogananda said an interesting thing as well, that in one of his transcribed talks on doubt. I think most of us feel and relate to the world around us as devotees that doubt isn't a good part of our being, of the way we operate. But Yogananda said, it depends on the doubt. He said very strongly that if it's negative doubt, critical doubt, that can be very harmful to us. But then he said this amazing thing. He said, on the other hand, constructive doubt, positive doubt, is a necessity to have to grow spiritually. Quite remarkable, isn't it? Again, the nuances when we pay attention, that common sense is there, but as the reading said, we also have the need to have intuitive perception. Because constructive doubt is when we don't understand something in the teachings. We don't have a relationship of having experience with something. To blindly accept it can produce some challenges because we don't want to be blind on the spiritual path. So that doubt that he was referring to, that Yogananda's referring to, was saying, well, let me see as a yogi scientist how I can explore this. Isn't that wonderful? That we open that door to having that experience. Rather than leaving at, I should do this. Now, there are times, I think for each of us here, that there are times when we don't understand a teaching, or perhaps haven't integrated a teaching. And the best thing we can do is say, I trust you, Master. I trust you, my Guru. I trust the Divine Mother to lead me in this way. But then we have to actively engage in our part with that prayer to the Guru or Divine Mother. We need to be there with it. Much like we do in the purification ceremony. As Parvati eloquently said this morning, the first part of it is each one of us coming up to say, I seek purification by the grace of God. We're not just saying, oh, let's go. We're saying, I am connecting with this experience. I am offering myself. I am really dynamically engaged in drawing this blessing to me. And so the idea of common sense is really important, that we really feel a sense of a solidity as best as we can, because we know from the world around us, solidity doesn't have a long-term capacity a lot of the times, or in situations. We think things are going along great and smooth, and suddenly it's gone, it's changed, whatever might happen. We think we're going to last forever. We think our gurubhais, our friends, are going to last forever. And suddenly that's not there. It's not true. So the point isn't so much that we have to be influenced by circumstances or situations, but we respect that the reality out there is a reality unto itself, but not necessarily our reality. But we respect that. Swami Kriyananda said that one of the signs of maturity is respecting other people's realities as they see it. It's not that we're accepting their reality as the reality. We're accepting that that's how this other person is experiencing their life. That's their reality. And in that way, we start to emphasize more of that intuitive perception. I mean, Swami Sriyukteswar was given the title by Paramhansa Yogananda, his disciple, as a Jnana avatar. And avatar means that soul that has returned to its oneness in the divine, and then return to help others, all of us, to gain that same oneness of the divine. And jnana means often wisdom. But it has a more nuanced, deeper understanding. And that's what we've been talking about, that intuitive perception of the divine through everything in life that brings us closer to God. So it's a wisdom that allows us to be in the divine. It's a purposeful way of seeing every step in our life, always opening up to that possibility, always nurturing who we are in the deepest and always the most refined way. And again, it's just something that we choose. At times, we may not even realize we have a choice, or we're on automatic, maybe often. But all we need to do is say, what is it that's really happening here? And so that question, as Swami Kriyananda always encourages us to ask, what is happening here? What is trying to happen? It allows us to pause and get that perspective, and more importantly, get that attunement, so the energy will be moving in that supportive way, where our intuitive perception becomes the direct experience of our divinity in God and Guru. So let's all be alive in that experience. Let's live it in every moment. And when we forget, bring it up, move again in the next moment when you can. But always be in that openness, be in that connection, be blessed by this. Blessings to you.
Father, now that I wander with thee, flowers and fields are alive with thy joy. All that I owned to thee I've given, now I sing in thy love I am free.
Father, now that I dance in thy name, birds and animals share in my song. All my sorrows, all my merriment, join in music to set hearts aflame.
Father, now that I wander with thee, flowers and fields are alive with thy joy. All that I own to thee I've given, now I sing in thy love I am free.
Isis. Isis is the divine mother aspect of God in the ancient Egyptian religion. Swami Kriyananda wrote this song after meditating at the temple of Isis in Aswan. O Mother, all merciful, help us to attune ourselves to thy vibrations, to thy rhythms of thought and of feeling. Leaving our ways, may we live in harmony with thy ways.
Still your mind if you want to pray. Send all cares far away. Sing then love's ever near. Isis comes, await the day. Isis comes, await the day. Mother comes, await